Right, da about that today one mad part match and ya baba do dem pempe. So so that is say na bosom no da to do oye edono ko me 21st November 2025. Ebada nasi. Messi akap nda purple akron 9 days. So wan fa bia nkan a ne yim bosom so kana. Ba o mesi bi no baje akotia, ebi no so baje me da ase, bi no baje yemi show. Ni hia ya akotia ne bia. Mo be sibia ayankopan na asem. So na yankopan si inde adabachu ntira we yan no. Na obacha za ibutu me busy obacha za ibutu me bufra na mmom za ohia wa ya brabo man kasa yende ye fentia na odosronko yentuma yemfa amahene ho ebi bi kire ne yanko but we need the teeth we kire na why na yemi busy whether good or bad obi anu ntuma mbo just wan kasa na yankopan esa ase bobo ho ansa na bi pere obo wa wotum na wa abo nde san shasa mbo ho na ehie bia ugbefu osana ne da ekan wuska wanso ne de register bi won se ntuma anka na ebe adwuma ma na kinke because what you want you are not getting nti oba na ma na aba na aba nti hye so so memfa oye ibi na ebufu mfa mebi se na ekọ adwuma mu no aba na aka ya ma obo sa fire ekọ fie bi afro kai keep quiet you are making noise bia it will help nti yen hye so dama sabi se yefo oye tro cars the passengers cars no driver no wan so ne kania enke driver kania say driver car na say na so na wan so kania the only light our car ho aman fa yetum yehu ken onye za metum no make so the only light our yimpanayim the abesro a kire yanko ana obobo ma asomdie etum aba izin de biara gino ho OMAR BIN ABDULLAH ende wa efidezi ba am say betiza wotum oka ende ye ba bohwe akwane pa architect wotum no wuzu hunejuma na bandan na sisia sane ku wo hodeda na daba na wotum ye dwumadi pi na oso hunu na ado ye hunu de nazama pi fi aye kro ahorodo abakansa wa finfirma ntom ne tiro gwa baaze na wo ye penfo wa ha bede hunu za kire nazamba edan ye husima ba bi na akohye National Petroleum Authority fo hunu nkabo ye ba ye mo yo nkwezizira ye ndan ye husima ba mbra
Mido, Ghana Biana. I'm going to be able to see every time I say, baby, shit. Mangashi.
Junior! I'm saying so enough for me, you know.
Sister Hospa, it's a winning gas.
I'm used to it, why? My wife.
Down Yankanawa.
Sister Coles. Use to gas. Gas ye fast, and ye easy, and ye convenient. And wow.
LPG, let me see your hand. Ooh, I got it.
Right, yes, I hear you. Yes, I have a beam. Into a babo oye nkomo. You are oye architect in pay for a water motor juma papa to nature. Then pay for see, Ubo Wabitra, nature wa abo when it's in the owners were fraudulent. Into a babo share. Men oye ARC. The short meaning or the full meaning is what? Into a home position home. Abo and bring me in it na anka lawyer so so na ko bonizin the mara Mr. so enya cow. Why embre yima so yi enti PERCY ebo SACKEY bema ba ko pe ogina ho anu hu da wa abefi PERCY good morning apom yezi na ARC meaning what the senior architect or the architecture whatever what is the meaning
okay enti ARC ni architect registration council no or your governing body. Okay. A government agency, but in here, Ghana Institute of Architects, which is the GIA. Young regulator nye ARC. Into your handa, your GIA, one name, on behalf of young council, na young president, in the name of GIA. Ghana Institute of Architects.
Right. Musomu wadachi baby. Yonko oye meru aba oye nana AKUA upon BIRMEH. Correct. Aha. Ano so ha AKUA ze mama minister ntino na AKUA za na chere ba him mapanyin owo fi. Ana na wotum na wabe. AKUA good morning.
Good morning.
Apo meze.
Yamena boko.
Bibia boko.
Bibia boko. Yamena dum.
Right. AKUA yensa so do osana SACKEY etume yin sendiano. Se eka architecture. Oya honanu na ba so na wo ye.
Yo mechia me de be battery kakra. Mechia wahwefo omo TV nti ye architects ye nkofo a yako school Ghana Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and as I say ye wo Central University yako school I undergraduate study in design.
Okay.
And a postgraduate or masters in architecture. Now, we go school ni normally between 6 and 7 years. We now why apprenticeship officer registered with or licensed to operate. We are doing our 2 years. Now we control licensing exam. Exam ni interviews. Nyame ya dom na wutimi pass ya na yamao. Ewo registration number and it was stamp say ubetimi a operate ewo Ghana kuremu baby ya and as we do yourself na baby ya na ka say we architect na yenim say why sa process no enti we professional enti ya yete hey interestingly na yewo the same class ewo KNUST enti ye architects ye adwuma ne say eye dan ho adwuma before a dan anase ekuro ebe physical infrastructure na beba no ye nkofo a yetena se edwin sedia edan na na se environment no ye beye na ebe sumpon ama enipa ebe use nti ye start free ye ho na ye tre vision na e free where kono na engineers ni omo aka abem na ye nyina yesi ekuro anase edan a nipa ebe use ni yie enya ho faso nso yie
right le ko da say SACKEY yan shede finfirmantum ni tiro gwa wa be ba so no be because if you are kasanfin ni hunde nazam mapinya wotum tantana asem kasa abazan wo ye no
Inti Ghana Institute of Architects. Afibia ye meeting at the end of the year. Ayafreno AGM annual general meeting. Na meeting no yatayen wo nkran because architects no one do ni na wo Accra ebi wuso Kumasi Takoradi who and other part of Ghana, but Yankasina or Accra. But this year, no, your new president, architect Tony Asari, with your vision there, or they too, year creating, maybe architecture even maybe starting, we evolve, Mawada would be we this is here, no, into your Ghana hanging with the or your Cape Coast. Now, you started with the castles. Now, other historic buildings are Cape Coast. In the heard the young AGM, no, young team, no, from castles to our future city. You heard the best place of the year, Uba. Into I finished so no, your president and other executive, we turn a money by Cape Coast. We be home among regional ministers was there this year today in AGM Cape Coast because of team na yafano inti ye Cape Coast is yaba for an AGM which happened in that was the opening ceremony and also ye but in the friend architecture business inti in the no yen meeting ye invite any guests because you better discuss issues into say Cape Coast and Cape Coast no.
So it's even 3 days of 4 days program.
yeah, no 4 days until Wednesday no your arrival of architect na Thursday morning the opening program na I don't know yet to several Omahin regional ministers na azem wobe obehwe domain Friday, which is in the nearby actual AGM for architect, or China Saturday, you visit some of the tourist and historic attractions or Uruguay, namely the Cape Coast Castle, you Kakum National Park also. And then Sunday morning we will depart near Ukraine.
The dinner available.
You dinner or Saturday evening.
Exactly. Don't do one here. You finish Manto Mahana. The whole Ghana baby singing. How many in a man?
Okay, it is here on your register. No, you will buy 1,200 to 1,300 architect or your register. But the road to will back up because year record a little over 300. Even the I engage with other activities. Maybe you say to can when you could meet here a little over 300. Yeah.
Right. Aba kan wa we wa kan so so tuma kan ho no wan so ne ze na cha ma be de biara e wa ka ya no na wa se ya no nti sisia ye kwekisi na jom na ye bisa aye na ne kua de ye kisha architect aye when impact and sustainability I want to design you who de edwuma na wregan o ye edwuma pa ye tumi ye kohine yim it is the man not much you design as a to mabwa and then because of uncontent physical really at home benefit my friend
yo it's edwuma no extra yemfa me say brick and mortar nipa bebre befo say adwuma na ye no ene say ye de brick atoto so na yesi dan wanya space nanso eno so ka ho bi ti na ekɔ school chesa no adwuma na ye no ye dwen nipa ho ene sadia ye be hyehye saa brick ne mortar na I make sure say environment if I say baby a dan na ekosi no a dynamic environment no in harmony. Number one, baby a ekosi so ni nipa na ebe use dino. Ye make sure say number one, wo moka. Interestingly, wo mboka because ye bet na ho adwin baby a wo de we besha unwie no na dia e was sika e was spend si dino and na wo be spend because ye be yes ani ma ni na simulations ni na wo paper so answer na wo be ako 2 years sika si dino no we who say ya as efficient as possible and na nipa no so e be use dino e dino ebe boa omo to live in a quality way. There's enough visibility, daylighting, thermal comfort. Wo dino ma we are comfortable. Nyema bebre wo wa ye consider say ye hye e dino ma na in the end so no a dine way near a dine way so me draw dine me design it dine PERCY design it dine or does any design it dine ye kan nyina boma e kro na a dine woman so no na e kro no so asumpom minim se de meche na aye a creative environment to thrive say from living from working and collaborative school safety bibia lifestyle any living hono na che say yen yesua ye ti ase na ye experience so ema ye sa capacity no say ye be yes magana nti ye hu hia pa wo ekro bia mu nti wo be hu say ogwa for example said your kai no aha na nyema te say castle start here e wo mu say castles ne fort no e bia de e de baaye no nanka nye ade a you know, because it has a very difficult history for all of us. But at the end of the day, Ubehu said these castles at Tinase for so many years. These are castles that my history. It's me call ye chico who dear buy ye, dear see ye, ye be called baby. Ewo a evidence, a physical infrastructure in an environment that continues to exist. Sebeya ye bitini akaya story and ye besha hona said ye theme trail ye call ye nim sono. what these things tell us said the year koye nim no yebetimi designing your cities near your environments according to your aspirations as Ghanaians.
Right, Niku, I work for Antonio about what role did our architect play to promote energy efficiency and reduce in Zama Onomboa can carbon dioxide? I would want.
Okay, Timidasi. Dema architect in the Ukuya Kaino. Yawo Omanuma back the Oman Nipanadona we about architect. We knew the architect where and a lot of times when to mention the difference between architects and other people what we call plan. Into about the time that we produce dana na work affirmation na work society na work start the worry. But difference in there say engage architect or baba site ho. One of the things the orientation, which is very important because if we move in one particular way, it rises from the east, now we set to west, which is a very important information for architects because if we are up down in a particular way, our opportunity is a lot of heat. But then it say architects pay attention to BBR, was it windows and as a BBR or cover or provide the shader. A basic dynamic we know, not it's easy. But a dynamic shade should be a while. Ever could if you know what's now ban no look at a pain, no uhu no home. Now be said there, no demi see wabo one of the one more. These are some of the German engage architects are them problems in here because you're solving on the in the design. Until you make sure the larger part of a diner in Tukorono only be face north and south. And your friend orientation, no, because the prevailing wind, no, baby, you feel no. I don't know to move a dynamic will cool it down during the day, and you also make sure that you have a lot of windows into the spaces. You are bringing here there, but also solar light, consuming electricity, or a dama electricity, because most of the production is from the fossil fuel. I don't know generate a lot of the CO2 now. On Madama carbon emissions and increase the carbon footprint. Into you to design in the way that it use less electricity. And then a use architect you actually save money because the life cycle of a dano or the running cost of the dan becomes cheaper. Into say osimesi ko use obi for friendness obi use architect. One day use architects ne dano ne light bill no on course because light because the windows know the right position to bring in a lot of natural lighting and also the effort and natural ventilation. A farmer offer a dining without the need of any fan or air conditioning. And also the modern buildings near cities in Bibena. Wosan was a glass sometimes you have to consider a lot of these things, you know. A lot of the glass, you know, if it's exposed to too much of the sun's heater, all my air conditioners, you know, they overwork, which means that your electricity cost goes up, and then again affecting the carbon footprint or something. In Zamanas or you be you change more too technical for yen ashofo. This is like a very simple explanation of some of the role the architects play in will reduce the carbon footprint of of the environment.
Okay.
Let me add one or two things. Emma, wareful and a waiting for. Say, let come to tree. Ye free hey. I the bejamo say. In ria any flowers ne grass ne yemano. Ebwa palma. A diamond tina, a bois, my diamond tina, a comfortable. Ain't a woo see what diner who a compounder. A woman says a say no, ya drain tray say oh yen fa tiles and na say NG baby na so dia wo ye ne say wo create space a ebe absorb area no be bona mana ye hyehyehye eye hye na eturo wo dan nim enti ebe ya ye be tre say mu wo mo dan a baby a ka mfa ana say baby a nipa mfa ne nan fa no but modern na dua grass ana wo de open farm kra dua bibia ebema asase no also ensuo to a ebetimi anonom ensuo no na nyema te se flood na nyema emeye problem emamo enti kakra me de beka ho amamo no bibia obetimi bia na the greens no ebema ebe take you can say carbon dioxide na produce oxygen na say living comfort no na mwanya enti kakra de beka ho.
Yeah, the crowd back home in no other media because in Chamana, you said there sustainability, how you can sustain in Zama you to me and Zama to me chairman for. I just going for the you can sustain the men's money in a don't pay. Then raise me then I want to call architect. Architect over Jiska, Siko by Jim to tear down to me to my queen. What difference and going for the sustainability with you, nigga? Yo,
I am said they watch him no, and no dear, yet I see a pass any puppy brain. Your dream who say, eh. Na daina mu ewobo me san ko fabra ya wako school 8 years 10 years asan wabeje me abode adrama me na masi na de bia me ka kire nipa se omo kasa de me ka kire won se we me de beba mba no so wo bo modern na wo yiska ekoto kinta ni boarding efe ye fa ne se we spend 10,000 Ghana cedis ato kinte papa se me de koye event sa kinte no wo de be kwa akoma oya ade ye bi owo won chen we to 50 cedis because me mpese sa sika no eyeska wo bedwen hu there's a reason why I wo to ade ane boarding a wo de ko ba bia wo ye sure wo ye dan a edan e wo value e wo cost enti sa cost no wo de be kwa akoshe ba bia wo ntua hwe na wo be wie na e kan ho a na wo be going forward ana say wo be pesika kakra and mind you yesika no mo say yeso patenso sa compared to a dino value na wo ba besi no sa dino wo ye dan ya baby area self na baby a dan ye bo ye ka enti wo de be hye obi nsem wo betua na kakra but you are sure say wo dan no number 1 ebegina endwiri ngo so number 2 wo te dan no ma said your kan ye no baby a mpoma na nyema wo nti wo ti mu a wo ye comfortable enye se de bia na to wa si dan so na to abonten e de papa ehu number 3 the beer will light in so because you have enough daylight out me and until around without say 2 minutes beer will be so can now what consuming energy sustainability no enna we are sure so say dina ya drama or no ensure ta what nine ensure for won't because you're creating enough absorption around you who greens who near ma ebe no num nsuo no nti what o dan ma ensure me found enti nyina ye nyema yen ya church nti e be ye ne sa ma nti sa sika na obetua no it is value for money and
equal because yen kina church re jabutu wababo nti yen Coastal TV ko break aba ye be baba chon ko mo
architects, Honorable Minister, representatives of OGWAMANHENE, Mr. Chairman, fellow architects, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cape Coast, a place steeped in history and culture. Everywhere in Cape Coast and the surrounding areas, there are echoes of our past meeting the pulse of our future. I'm honored to address this gathering at our annual general meeting, where we reflect on our journey and chart our course forward. Our theme, From Castles to Our Future Cities, is a nod to the enduring legacy to architects and engineers who built structures that have stood the test of time. The castles of Cape Coast, Elmina, and other 26 locations in Ghana stand as a testament to our complex history, bearing witness to the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism, and the resilience of our ancestors. These magnificent structures crafted by skilled hands whisper stories of a past era reminding us of the ingenuity, creativity, and perseverance of our forebears. As we walk through the dungeons, gaze upon the imposing walls and breathe the air thick with history, we are compelled to reflect on the lessons they impart. These are more than remnants of an aching past. They are beacons of inspiration guiding us towards a brighter future. These castles teach us valuable lessons about city planning and excellence. They demonstrate the importance of vision, planning, and execution. We are doing poorly as a country, and we need to use this annual general meeting to reflect our contributions to the nation's fabric. We cannot seriously meet our planning capacity if this country only has 10 architects in 261 MMDAs. 20% of all structures in the country are kiosks or containers. Out of these ugly temporary structures, about 46% are timber structures. Our cities are simply ugly, and these numbers tell a story. I want to quote one of my very good friends, Engineer Yao Insaku. We had a chat and he sent this, and I thought that it is important to quote this. He said this: in which aspects of our lives, of our collective existence as Ghanaians, can we sincerely say that the achievements made so far are such that we can show them off as examples of world class? Anywhere in the globe, we can't do this. Not even in sanitation, healthcare, education, or food self-sufficiency can we do this. We are plagued by mediocrity. That is Yao Nsaku. As we strive to build modern cities, we can draw inspirations from these ancient structures. We can learn from the way these castles are built and space is utilized. Balancing functionality with aesthetics and created communities that stood the test of time. The castles remind us that city planning is not just about buildings and infrastructure. It is about creating vibrant, resilient, and inclusive spaces that foster growth, innovation, and human flourishing. As we look to the future, we must reaffirm our commitment to excellence. Our cities are growing rapidly, and the challenges are many. Sustainable development and inclusive growth. We must harness technology, creativity, and collaboration to address these challenges. To our students, you are the future leaders of our profession. I encourage you to embrace innovation, push boundaries, and uphold the highest standards of professionalism. This is your time. To our sponsors and partners, your support is invaluable. Together, we can create a built environment that reflects our values and aspirations. I would like to mention the following for a special applause.
Opponent Antonio Asari, Pelipa, Oda Jumizimano, Waya, Amanagana, Ano, Nawoto, Nebigina Simpidu, Odin Cemetery that to go above Benzemum, na za oil major crying there, Yesha, Olutu, Oyasgo Fufu. In paying fussy, Sabi, Payno, no dark crosses and Zaza, a young root Ashaden. In this is a Mebunu or home and paying food to my church and 7 March, and paying for you are, Mebuno or Butumas and pay for one name. Nti abandama na chere yere ko hineim na ya ye hunde hedwumezin ojuane na ado Saki, you said that we have urban planning. I would you made the P where he means now. Abazin architecture company and Abazin architecture group. What year which was a boy, but the man planning in autumn.
Okay, it's Medasi. Often urban planning now. On your architect from Gotin Yujuma. All right. Or your planners. Na was a name Wardama Crumazin. Inti architects, the Yutumia boy there. Yenyuane boom. Ne yenyuane tina wana yedwen the planning of our cities in a way ubutum why more sustainable. For example, you make sure that in the design of the city, you incorporate green areas, a lot of parks, green areas to ensure that you a lot of trees. Trees absorb a lot of the CO2s. So we need a lot of trees. Also, it helps when you have a lot of them green areas in Sutra, or avoid a lot of the flooding. Actually, the recent issues not happening with Cape Coast and down or collapsing as in how urban planning or in the right direction. Into architect like Mekano, when urban planning now, planners to meet now green. How you to design cities in the way the best sustainable. Another example is the most of your cities in the into Menantum could be into Odobia Faka, young public transportation systems no so on Sheda on Dimo PNT Ubia Uruchuka cars so or contribute to the CO2 emissions. You to me a plan your cities in collaboration with the planners in the way there you be design a lot of walk path and pedestrian path, encourage the use of bicycles from place to place. Otumubwa you achieve the goal of sustainability.
Akona haruti aboma oye hinye media etmeje architect ba oye Ghana acha ababra be musa acha you share oye abrabe ya yankopolo tumbo ya Abraham oye ne suafo na no obebe na yembongu obebe woda obebe wodidi ntechere Abraham na architect no papa o se na ya yeduma. Still now we have problems. Still now you are how your communities. Are you sure we are doing our best? Saki.
Our best.
Our best is not enough.
The best, there's more to be done.
Okay.
But CCR extra. Yerbo Yawumazan Papa to ensure that yes, a lot of things from the past moving forward. The bottom kind there's a lot of work to be done. But we are doing our best. You may make sure that you may achieve our goal at the end of the day.
Lekwa you should happen to architect for no you wonder why employ or district assembly to more age.
Yeah, employment. Yo wait Nekwan so an me ankasa no the last board of land use and spatial planning no na me sa board no so mame hunyema bebre esua nyema bebre so efa de ntia some of the problems na ye wo no ye wo toda e wanwa say architect bebo modern adwendwen nyema bebre hu aye design na enko for permits no na sebe obi a or share na was signing or authorizing na ebi kra oni adwuma no ho nimdie enti saa no se professional architect dey draw mba na obi so a bia ontimi hu ensisa na se de obeye a ebe make sure se yenkosi dan no ebe ma benefit to the community enti eno de a problem pa ye hu se district assemblies near the north employed through the government civil service structure meaning say architects be yeduma or na say also free civil service structure no neighbor na yeso ye nyina nim difficulties are Ghana Institute of Architects for some time now is working on different ways that you me collaborate. Not necessarily say ubekwa join the civil service and sana where me play a role. Number 2, who here pass to say ye nipa na ye professionals now omode omo a sacrifice your mo joining civil force no. Was a system no we are advocating say ye be place omo at the right authority omo betimi amnya impact on ye fan say SAR process no, because as it is omo ye little stifled. This is a general problem I was a omu rema omunya yema omu the powers and the authority to be able to contribute, you know, professionally, because at the end of the day omu contribute professionally aye nyina na ye benefit inti aban so ye be stress say aban so be edina so ebeba sa ye plight mu say at the end of the day ekuro no said your kind of planners ebe ye ne planners netina say ehwe said ya ekuro no ye be hye no. But when a architect in the bedroom beyond, I keep saying this, beyond brick and mortar, architect in the bedroom, the way a nipa a etikronim ebe engage buildings ebeba, baby a wobefa, unam hon unim se wo shade, comfort, security, unam baby a just by virtue of said the yasheshe and dino, crime nenye makrano resolved. Into ye dream sanya, Emma, apart from everything, delights. Ye will be bintia amount for Ebwa Boscano, a ticket, a full plane, Koshi, Krofu Froso, no one, because there is value in the delight. Who will crobiso now will share when this one will share, said ya shisha crona. There is value in tia will be now be experiences and embrace so and ensny Ghana ye bet me yesa and one is a Bema architect in the right position. Who could crobi to say Singapore? We share on building regulations the first profession described as architect. There's a reason. And anyone wants to say it's an architect is given the right position in the development of the city. And the abang so from some many architects engage in Ghana. We want to do it for Ghana. Ghana and find it to my penfra.
In a course of the anchor, but Mazna Motodo, nephew to Mubwa. You be say SACKEY there, Yesha, me, or yet me. Now I'm talking about me, I'm talking about Ghanaians. Miss me to identify the SACKEY is a good architecture person, but to Wabwa, Mamutum, dominate to my ye. Which you should be missing me.
Okay, Medasi. Inti Makade, the rigorous addition architect will go through and so by architecture. Mutum more guarantee there before any architect will go through the whole process. 4 years undergraduate, 2 years postgraduate, 2 years professional practice training, and so cultural exams, and so you're passing. In Tibondo Ubiara, 1-man license as an architect is a good architect. Say architect, you manage the way you know, wama yenye advert into who baby the architect or the signboard is to the army architect PERCY. This is my telephone number. Here architect, yenye them. There's a reason for that. But if a pede engage architect, you can always reach us through the Ghana Institute of Architects. And based on the agreement pede several recommendations for you, such as a design competition. Well, and them design competition, you invite the general members of the architect to participate, and obviously the best architect will definitely win.
Look, how can I join if I'm part of them? Another local school, even though you're school, you see your classmate, there's your classmate in SACKEY, and your classmate here. Another local school, baby, how can I join your association? Your
profession be built apart from the global professional standards. No, AKUA was specific standards. To practice there, no, it was a witty name. Enti no yendie ye go school ha enti ye track no has been quite straightforward. So free baby banso na ebia ho no with a comparable institutes be a wa pass wo ho no so eno so ye na emom oba Ghana e wo se Ghana nso usua Ghana ho specific requirements be a che se wo yes anyema na ubetimi atro exam na ene interview ni ade na ye de waka ho na che se obi be fa o se ni dan ma na we have authority over you to ensure say the awoye no ewo Ghana mra akwan mu ena de awoye no so ebesumbo ama Ghana fo enti indeed ye won kofo e free baby bebre a omoba a ombeka ho na omo so timi ni ye adwuma just like every other profession we a doctor now ko baby a e wo se utimi sua e hoso specific nyema we a lawyer untimi nko keke nka se me ye lawyer nti me be di obi a baby e wo se wudu ho a ekuo na akwan se de ye adwuma wo ho no wo se utimi ko na wo ko apply na chese wo ye bibia na omo hu se wahu ade ni ye a na ya ma okwan na se wo so utimi practice.
Tell ko hembra so ne mo za maybe so that do you have gender balance in association? Na bu na me fon ko tin cycle ne killers nko tin or do you have female? Eno die in fact interesting say sa question me na we bisa e san say emom ye ko school a etimi yenwie no etimi ye den say ma no bebre e beto aso ni me ma ne ye na nyame adom emma we are not exactly pepepe but yen a man wo so ye make effort me office say ye wo emma in fact amount for craft say ye mfa me ma but we do but emma does ye because it's important to us say adwuma na ye and we have the same capacity, we have the same ability. Nti mano yeso ye gina ye nan so pa yeso ye ko system nim ye ne mema no but yes we have a good gender balance as far as the women are willing to actually put in the work. Ye ni sa problem no but culturally emma bebre enter person now go school 6 years 8 years so say yes na kwan na one na mba ne be dwendwen da ben na wo be ria warea wo ne aha tie no de wo ho da but me fa kwan so any wa hwefo akasa say enye den sa eden but enye den sa ye wo m ye no so ye ni yi ye mba na ye wo mu no nti feel free, don't be afraid. It's in fact we actually do better. And look here, the feel free and yet so that shows the graces and process of a general. I don't know how from in there was all of us my bro still now what I'm called my bro still now what I'm called now let's over with them PERCY. The Bokosaki one to me as Sasaki sir a architect I draw a church a for me to me movie in what drawing and I'm sure much more dissident. And then the problem about Sabi, Ebu, Mutuma Baba Chubia. Because you draw it. Embrow them. There's a effort, a quine we are to honor to engage your architect. Effort, it can call why you know, later in your problem. A CADE association, and I want to. A bit of correction. Institution, the Ghana Institute of Architects. Inti zochen the dam yen institution ye were mandate ye botum ye za twe members waso. Inti any problem botum report a problem no am a Ghana Institute of Architects. Wo ba Fred ama architects no now we find out. It's first or that ye to me investigation because on your team bia na denu ba e bi oye directly the fault. I said, to be sorry, there, edge drawing anyway, no case, no. And your architect and a importable to a supervisor, mamma, and I want to listen a new mason, work a see. Into Demano, or the investigation, you a corner for the man, a down be, and after that, whatever decision will be taken, we have special committees I will handle, Damas and man. Okay.
Yo, me first and back on as professionals, so no, ye were BBF professional indemnity. Nini na ye niema uko through system na be professional every year. Would ye insured? Say BBT krana wadwuma bi a wo ye bia abrante bi a na raba bi a won ne ye adwuma wakodro bibia enti wuko see akose problem mama wa you have a right to fall on professional indemnity and also can ho bi na e was a make sure say nipa na won ne ye adwuma no or ye professional because say adena ye fa ne say problem na ba ye no e ye bibia sika ebetimi afa ho sika ne ya ase car waje insurance replacement bebem because nipa no e insured you are in safe hands now so woko baby a nipa no nye professional e bi kra oni sa insurance no na say ade ne say ya say na to oni kasa bebre
but let me add one last thing the American say enye architect nyankata wona say okabane de enye problem the only condition is about yan institute that them architect no is in good standing with the institute nti yapede to wa hwefo enyim des we engage architect we make sure that first of all we will be someone for their registration number and also we be check the architect is in good standing. They can make this inquiry by over contact Ghana Institute of Architects. It is architects engage in so onye in good standing na say bibi ba ezebenyanwa or obeyezen kakra. It is important for ETF that we engage architects or we make sure that them architects know or good standing.
Right, so how did you do the SACKEY na chiraba aye na nekia. O chira na yen katenkwa bia na tie ne da ode to make easy. Na ode to na access katenkwa hwe da ba katenkwa hwe ne yiwa ene daja leftover. E make it up nta wala to me da ne je but e fon nkan we chiri na efia kwa kaya ahina da asema ba. Ibu bi nu so akwana wa afra wa hye ho no office. Carlo de ma automatic be djuma. Na boy so automatic ye djuma na no do ma to oh akwezi oyaze. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't know whom from an ample. From here, we to move. Send a bokusi or send me to a yo, and so I shall Sarah none more from all a Yeroko or a Yerabama. Now he now to me, Roko. Or the baby know who there. Don't know what Canada or Dawson, all a bian for baby, maybe behind the match, all of you, maybe I saw for baby. So I will now walk or hand when the men some Nihina. I say bian for baby because I bet you could see, no, I mean, I'm quite catching a bow baby, I'm quite catching a canoe baby. I hear about one I boom baby beer film because I'm here so no number for. A better was papa until a doctor that he about to come about the send some no doors na dumpy now also utumna wobre or damage mezido. Until yes, sure, I got crab market. I would to say, you know, in part or day architecture, no, need mobile. So you should land or tomorrow, to design, you know, to them or can know, another work can know, or be what they put in for name mom. Container na ya tuma waje miketu na se be na house we hunu ma buye zino but ada obaba no boshe nti beda ya PERCY as PERCY ebosaki da maso na AKUA oya upon BIRMEH na se bema ebede na asi awuya ya architecture asa wotumu zu hunu djuma ne commission nkomoza we depose acha because me ho former we TV no do ahwa ka ache so asemwom adebi so ankra ba ne hie ne so okura bi na the tell we depose na acha nti be was papa na mom ho ne panyin na oda ho na no oye amane Ghana oye opayin toni asari oye panyin na otuma oda ho na no ye mensire na mom ye ba to asa we ta abugu ya won tan kan fanti ntum go so ko nkana wo ya de ban wo nkana ba semhwim de nkana ba semhwim nti won tan kan fanti na fi ntum nkwanyu na yentum yehu nti e bada honasi na mom ofibere to bere no wo da ya he professor Kwame na banfo eje na da wo menti nsa ba ka hon foforo wasem jizira kepos foso bi no ha wo ha wo tum wo ka ho ama wo kwa na e pere nkoma na che yetum yae now so with them you know with the help of prof no all the baby na e pere yo kasa wo tete phone da wo do that na fi nsene chin ya adwena yi ho akasa wo homa bibiara etum ne ewie paye and the petima muguda mi ho ye djuma yi eje cameras the maso the ben MCA djuma mama ni yi na mekija hono kwan na mekija hono kwan wi a masa meche maba ankra ban na amanye samiti udu fida amanye samna yetum ye nti ye kwan akwa hwe so politician fono no wa bakansa iho bizonkomo na ya kwhene yi mezoroze OMAR BIN ABDULLAH ye dan ho ya ba ye ba e bo chonkomo bono.
Good morning, friends, and I hope I will not be the micro member here. Thank you very much. I bring you greetings from the president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. In fact, the president wanted to be here in person, but apparently he's having an international engagement with the African Institute of Quantity Surveyors. And so that is why he has allowed me to read a speech. So my simple task here is to read the president's speech. And so I believe I will not be a micro in this level. He didn't know that there will be a micro 1 year. Basically, as he indicated, he says that your theme for this particular annual general meeting is timely. This is because you are in the home of casters, or home of tourism in the central region. Also, he indicated that these castles were built many, many years ago, over 500 years ago, meaning that durability is the essence of this castle. And so as architects, what you are expected to do or your designs should live to the test of time. He added that with the castles, there are 4 cardinal points that the castles tells us their story. One of them is adaptability, which means that as architects, you are expected to design cities that will be resilient to the urban heat island impact that we do have. And usually this creates a lot of climate effects in our cities. And because of that, our designs need to embrace green, where we have the green burden concept. He also added that local materials are also being used, and so there's a need for creativity to engage in these local materials so that people can depend on the local material rather than importing them. That can also grow the community economic growth. The third point made mention about waste, circularity, which focus on 3 areas: reuse, recycle, and repurpose. Our designs should answer these questions. And the last point for the casters talks about community, as the president indicated, that the casters serves as protection, and as well as protection to the community. Hence, our designs should have the community involved, so that we do not only see architects in the perception as our tufu indicated that indeed the child learns how to draw and can draw very well. But you go beyond the drawing, and that is where the community, the culture now comes in. Finally, he also asked his voice to the president, indicating that since the representative of the president of Ghana is here, to probably take this to him, to see that all district assemblies should engage professionals, architects, because having less than 5% of architects employed in the district assemblies is nothing to write home about, including the quantity surveyors as well. So professionals should be invited. You know, we are brothers and sisters. When you design, you need money to also build. That's right, thank you. So these are the 2 professionals, in fact, all built environment professionals, but importantly, architects, because 10 out of 261 is not acceptable.